The treatment involved injection. It could either be into your thigh or my stomach. I chose my stomach, and at that time it was just the injections 3 times a week. The symptoms, the early symptoms were, well, on the first night, hallucinations, serious temperature spikes, convulsions, vomiting, serious headache. It was like multi-personalities all happening really rapidly, and I was in a seriously high emotional state. The next time I injected, it was pretty much the same, but by the 4th or 5th time I was then settling into the kind of normal symptoms of that treatment, which was fatigue, drowsiness, nausea, and headaches. It was either 8 or 10 weeks. They did a test, and I was still showing Hep C positive, and the treatment was stopped. And that was it. I was kind of brought down, told that's what was happening, and dropped like a stone. Never heard anything from the hospital, never heard anything from anyone, was kind of just left to get on with it. I carried on as best I could over the next few years, and by this time I was really beginning to feel effects of the virus on a far more regular basis. There were times where I just physically couldn't get myself out of bed, even with all the best will in the world. The energy just wasn't there to do so. I would have just constant fatigue, aching in the bones. My physicality was rapidly disappearing, my lust for life was disappearing, constant fogginess in my head. And this continued for 5 or 6 years. The majority of the information and what have you that I was getting and kind of deeming viable at that time was coming from Australia. I found a lot of the sites though a bit overpowering, because they tended to speak in very medical terms, where I was just looking for somewhere where I could find someone to just talk to me in my terms. This was 12 years down the line, and it was still such a vague thing, and finding genuine information, finding people that kind of genuinely cared about us as people rather than us just being a virus. And amongst all this, I found out there was another treatment available. I got in touch with Gartnavel again, and they advised that the side effects wouldn't be as bad as the first time, advised that the success rate had went up to about, I think it was 42%, between 38 and 42 if I remember rightly. Again, I decided to go with it, because any chance of getting rid of it is better than no chance at all. And I can't stress that enough to anybody. If you've got a chance, do it, take it. So I went along. Yet again it was injection, but this time it was only 1 injection a week, and it was 3 intakes of ibuprofen a day. The side effects, well, I'm sorry, stop lying, they were just the same. And as a matter of fact, the first one was even worse than the first one the previous time. I was attending Gartnavel as you do once a month to get my bloods taken, keep an eye on what was going on. Month 5 I was negative, and I was excited. 8 I was positive. And seriously disappointed, as I'm sure you can imagine. Yet again, I would have to say that I was dropped like a stone. There was no follow-up, anything. As soon as they were done with me, they were done with me. I certainly seemed to deteriorate quite quickly after that. I was totally shutting myself off, to the point where my family were starting to just not come near me. I had lost my job. I had kind of lost hope. I'd had a few serious bouts of depression, a couple of suicide attempts, and I just kind of felt that, well, I'd been through it twice. It hadn't worked. It didn't seem to be going anywhere. So what was the point, really? But as you do, somehow or another I kept going, and then another bout of Hep C research. I discovered that there were new treatments available.